Okay, so we have a couple events coming up on the page where we're going to give away some things and we're going to do some training training tricks and some contests. So I wanted to do a little video because one of the things I think anybody that wants to join in on them should know is their dog should know how to spin. I teach all my dogs how to spin because it's really simple and easy. And when you're trying to train another behavior like sit, let's say after 3 times they're not getting it, you throw in a spin and then you treat. It keeps their interest, it keeps them getting treats. Don't ever try to train your dog in a behavior and continue not to treat them because they lose interest and then they don't want to come and train because it isn't any fun. So what I always do for my puppies or my new dogs is I always start them out in the exact same spot. So anytime I'm going to train one of my dogs, I come in here with my stool. So when I get all this ready, they know we're going to have a training session. Usually they get pretty excited about it. She's only been trained a couple times, so she's all game for the treat and stuff. But she doesn't really know that every time we come in here, it's going to be a training session. So when you're training, there's 5 different methods used to train your dogs. One is luring, one is capturing, one is shaping, one is modeling, one is mimicking. Modeling is hardly never recommended. Luring is the most popular. We lure our dogs. I lure them over agility equipment. I lure them into position. Luring is just the most popular one. And it's easy. On top of that, we also have the way that they learn in the house on day-to-day basis, which is classical conditioning, and that is how a dog learns to associate a signal with an event. So the dog knows when you turn on the tap water, they're going to get a drink of water. When you open the door, they're going to go outside. That's forms of classical conditioning. And then there's operant conditioning too. Operant conditioning is pretty much the daily gist of life. But there's different ways that you can add and take away behaviors. So operant conditioning, let's say you got a puppy, when they're little, they're always jumping on your legs and you bend over and you're always picking them up. Well, you have trained them that if they jump on on your legs, that you're going to pick them up. So if you want a dog that doesn't jump, don't pick them up when they're jumping up on your legs. All these methods are positive reinforcements. I never ever take treats away from my dogs completely. Are there times that I don't use them? Yeah. When I'm out running agility, I'm not treating my dog. I wait till after we go sit down, they go in their crate, and then I treat them. Frisbee competitions, I don't even treat my dogs in frisbee competition because the frisbee is the reward. Them going out chasing it is the reward. Sit and stay, that my dogs do that a lot without rewards because it's so common. But there are times that I do train them for it. Every time my dogs go in a crate, I toss a treat in. Once in a while, I might not have a treat, but 99% of the time when my dog goes in a crate, they get a treat drawn or thrown in there first. That way, there's never no ifs, ands, or buts about going into it. Now my dogs love to go into their crates. So with her, I'm using just a kibble, low value treat. Some of my dogs won't do a spin unless I get a high value treat. So if you're trying to do this with your dog and they're not catching on, you need to up the value of the treat. So come here, Clay. So luring, you just take the treat, you put it in front of their nose, and you move them. Give them the treat, put it in front of their nose, and you move them. Good girl. Put it in front of their nose, and you move them. Good girl. And what you're doing is you're just teaching them to follow your hand pretty much. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, so for spin, I put it in my right hand. I put it between my fingers so she can't get it, but it's right there. And then I put it right at her nose, and I'm like, good girl. And you don't really have to throw a cue on it just yet because she doesn't really know it. But once she gets better at it, then I'm going to throw the cue of spin in. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Lots of praise. Spin. Yes. Good sometimes that right there is a reason not to use kibble, because they can't swallow them up because they're always in a hurry because they want more. So I'm going to get my bill jacks out here. Okay. So now we're going to spin. Yes, good girl. So now I'm also going to take and I'm going to put the treat in my left hand between my fingers. And then I'm going to ask her to reverse. Yes, good girl. Now, as you notice, to do counterclockwise, I do it with this hand. To do reverse, I do it with this hand. That way they distinguish. After a while, they know the cue and you don't even have to use your hands. Or they know the signal, because for my dogs to spin, it's just, I usually got the Frisbee and I just do flick my wrist and they spin. Come here. Chloe. Reverse. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Reverse. Yes, good girl. Spin. Yes, good girl. And it's just a fun, easy trick. It doesn't take a lot of brain work for them to figure it out. They catch on real easy. And it's a good one to throw in there. So let's say I'm trying to teach sit, and after 3 times they're not getting it, I throw a spin in there, because if you continue to try to train a dog and you're not treating them, they're going to lose interest. So you always want to keep their interest going. You always want to use a reward, whether it's a treat or a toy. Keep it positive, keep it short, and keep it fun. My training sessions are no more than 15 minutes, and at this young, I might do 1 or 2 a day. Usually I do 1 a day, and then I skip a day, let them think about it, and then on the 3rd day do it again. But my older dogs, I can break them out 5 times a day and do 5 training sessions with them because they love it. They get treats and they have fun, and it's a happy event for them. If you feel yourself getting frustrated with your dog, you stop on a positive note. So let's say you're getting frustrated because they're just not doing what you ask. Throw a spin on it, treat them, and stop. Go away, and then come back and try it again later. If you start getting frustrated with your dog when you're training, your dog will shut down on you. They don't want to do things that make your mood falter into the negatives. So if you're training and you're getting frustrated, they can read your body language and they see it. And then they don't want to do that anymore because they know that's upsetting you. So don't ever, ever get frustrated with your puppies. If you do, stop the training session on a good note, treat them, and then come back later. Keep them positive, keep them light, keep them fun, and we got lots of good things coming up in the future.